to the UK, where British police have arrested 9 men suspected of supporting and encouraging terrorism. Now, among those arrested was radical Imam Choudary, who has appeared on this program multiple times. Now, in a moment, we'll remind you exactly who this man is. But first, we turn to Fox's own Greg Palcott. He is standing by in London tonight with the details of the anti-terror raids. Greg.
Sean, police say the arrest Thursday morning involved over 100 counterterrorism police officers and hit something like 19 different locations, most of them in London. They say the arrests were not linked to a specific terror plot, but were part of their ongoing investigation of Islamist-linked terror. Of the 9 arrested, the one getting the attention is the fellow you jousted with, Sean, Imam Choudary, well known here as a radical Islamist preacher. He's also reportedly been charged with belonging to a banned local group tied to a lot of bad folks. One of Chowdhury's recent pronouncements is that he has no pity for the latest British man threatened with beheading by ISIS aid worker Alan Hannity. And his last tweet was, the U.S.-led airstrikes against ISIS, well, they're a good rallying call for Muslims to join the group. And then he was nabbed. Meanwhile, UK Prime Minister David Cameron met with his cabinet here in London today. They came up with a resolution authorizing British involvement in the airstrikes. The UN yesterday, he said this battle is not something that the UK could opt out of. Parliament is expected to pass overwhelmingly the measure tomorrow, and despite sentiment here against the last Iraq war, there is strong support. According to reports, the first Royal Air Force jets could be flying alongside U.S. planes now at least against targets in Iraq as early as this weekend, maybe even Friday night. They'll be using a British air base on the Mediterranean island of Cyprus. By the way, radical cleric Chowdhury's support for the brutal tactics of ISIS should come as no surprise. He also praised the 9/11 hijackers and the deadly 2005 attacks on the London transport system. Sean.
All right, Greg Palcott in London tonight. Thank you. Now, the arrest of radical Imam Choudary for terror-related charges was a long time coming. Now, this controversial Muslim cleric has advocated for Britain to become an Islamic state and follow Sharia law. He is also suspected of radicalizing hundreds of others and is believed to have ties to ISIS, including links to the man who's suspected of beheading James Foley. Now, Choudary has appeared on this program various times over the past few years, including just last month. Now, we put together exclusive highlights of the most insidious and outrageous venom that he has spewed right here to my face. Watch this.
Yes, I believe in the Sharia. I believe sovereignty belongs to God. And the Sharia will come to...
And you believe in virgins in heaven, don't you?
It will remove the corruption of democracy and freedom and all of your exploitation. You are worried because you know Islam is coming to your backyard.
I'm a non-believer. I'm an infidel. I mean, should I, if I don't convert to Islam, should I die?
No, you can live under the Sharia.
I can live under Sharia. Oh, thank you, sir. Please, I thank you oh so very much.
Every Muslim knows that Israel is occupying Muslim land, and obviously this needs to be repelled. You know, they need to return from where they came.
Did you or did you not say people who commit adultery should be stoned to death? Did you say that?
That is not my statement, but I believe that, certainly.
Should gay people be stoned to death?
Well, you know, homosexuality and bestiality and pedophilia and these things, I think they are your own way of life. I believe in 28 states.
Should they be stoned to death? I'm asking.
Bestiality is legal in America. You can have a relationship with just about whoever you want. In Islam, Allah created Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. So
should gay people be stoned to death?
Relationship between man and woman.
Should gay people be stoned to death?
Under the Islamic State, people will not be doing this relationship in the public arena. If they do, then there will be punishment, of course.
Eventually, the world's going to wake up to what I would say. And every radical Islamist like you will be wiped off the face of the earth because you have no respect for women. You have no respect for people of other faiths. You have no respect for innocent human life. You are radical and you want your religion or no religion. I don't want your Sharia law, and neither does anybody in Great Britain that has a brain.
You will have no choice, in fact, Sean. It's coming to a place near you. It's coming to a place near you.
You'll have no choice coming to a place near you. Now, with Chowdhury's arrest in mind and the clear and present danger that ISIS poses, did the UK do the right thing and getting this radical off the streets of London? And what is the right balance between civil liberties and protecting the homeland when it comes to law enforcement? Here to debate this from the American Islamic Forum for Democracy, Dr. Zuhdi Jasser is with us, and civil rights attorney David Lane. On the surface, Zuhdi, it seems simple. This guy supports Sharia. He wants his positions about stoning people to death and killing infidels and supporting radical groups. It seems obvious on the one hand, but in a society that believes in freedom of religion, it gets a little more complicated if he's only expressing words, does it not?
Yeah, it does. I mean, if we're only going to beat bad speech with good speech, so for those of us who are reformers, we want to beat them in the debate in the marketplace of ideas, not by putting them in jail that fuels them. Having said that, this guy I see no different than Imam Awlaki, who we assassinated appropriately after Fort Hood because he influenced that. Because look, Choudary has said things that Abedagalo, who was arrested for killing Lee Rigby and beheading that military soldier of the UK, said he was influenced by his teachings, by this guy. There are so many radicals influenced by Choudary. I don't know what took the Home Secretary so long to finally arrest this guy, because he was inciting violence. He wasn't just about free speech.
What do you think as an attorney, a civil rights attorney, David Lane?
Well, England doesn't have a Bill of Rights. The United States does. We have far greater First Amendment protections here than we do there. There are no banned groups anywhere in the United States. As long as you are limiting what you're doing to talking, you have the ability under the First Amendment, according to Scalia, Thomas, Roberts, and Alito, among others. You can join any group in America. You can say whatever you want to say. You cannot give material aid to a terrorist organization, but you can join the organization and you have free speech as far as it goes. You can have a parade in their support.
But think about this. From the standpoint that Sharia would undermine the very foundation of our democracy, because it's the antithesis of everything that we believe in, somebody that is pushing for and advocating for, aren't they really fighting for and advocating for an overthrow of the U.S. government at some point? Yeah. Doesn't that cross a line that it needs to be stopped?
No, you're allowed to advocate the overthrow of the United States government. That is not against the law. That to stop somebody who is advocating that would violate the First Amendment.
So it's the connections to terrorists.
That is part of the marketplace of ideas.
In other words, it's the connection that he had to terrorists. It's not his open support of what happened on 9/11, or that his desire to implement Sharia, or that his belief that those that commit adultery or that a gay should be killed. It's only the actions that matter to you.
BBC said that he was arrested for being a member of a banned group. You will never see a headline like that in the United States of America, I hope. If he was merely a member of a group and advocating things that are horrible, in America, he would be allowed to say those things, as he should. Britain doesn't have a Bill of Rights.
But David, it's not. It's if I can interject, it's not about banned groups. In this country, Revolution Muslim, two of them, Khattab and Morton, were put in jail for 11 years because they threatened the Draw Muhammad journalists, the South Park people. They are in jail. They even threatened me by calling me an apostate, and thankfully they are in jail simply for speech. So it's not about groups. It's the Brandenburg versus Ohio standard in America, which says that you can't incite imminent lawlessness or violence. In this country, we can't let our Bill of Rights become a suicide pact for groups that invoke violence.
All right, guys, thank you both for being with us.
There must be a clear and present danger. It's not simply advocating. It has to, if you're advocating, let's go right now to City Hall and burn it down, and everybody's standing in front of City Hall, there is a clear and present danger. Advocating violence, advocating illegal acts is legal in the United States. That is free speech.
Revolution Muslim is an example of what should be done with this guy.
Better pay attention to what these radical Islamists saying, because I believe them when they say they want these things. And ultimately, it would undermine our entire society and advance their way of life and only their way of life. Guys, good to see you both.